Nikita, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you at the GDGNYC DevFest 2025. It's my first time being here, and how about you?
I think this is my first time at an event for New York. I'm sure I've been to one elsewhere, but definitely my first New York event.
Well, wonderful. Welcome. And we have stunning weather for you as well. So we're, again, thrilled to have you. You have already given your keynote speech earlier. And I'm curious, how did you get started in your career?
Yeah, it's kind of, I feel like a little bit accidentally. Like I did sort of fall into machine learning. I did not study computer science in undergrad. And I think for like a long time I regretted that. But now I think it was actually the right choice. So I studied English literature and also math and had no idea what I was going to do when I graduated. But I was like, letters, numbers, pretty important things, right? But yeah, I started working at an AI startup when I graduated and was kind of doing a whole bunch of different things and basically made friends with the AI engineers there and kind of started working there. And one thing led to another. And then I've now been at Google for close to 8 years. So yeah, it was a little bit random of a beginning, but I really support kind of people coming into this AI field from different backgrounds instead of like kind of traditional computer science roles.
That's amazing. And I love that you have a well-rounded education. I feel like typically people will do a math science or an English history type of major. So you really have, it's all encompassing. And I'm curious, what is perhaps your favorite project that you've ever participated in or worked on or even spearheaded within any position that you've held?
Yeah, Google has, I guess I've done like a lot of really interesting projects, so it's hard to pick one, but Google has this really cool program where you can go and work for 6 months with their philanthropic arm, google.org. And so when you do that, you actually go for 6 months with a team of other Google employees and work for a nonprofit for 6 months.
That's amazing.
And so I got the incredible opportunity to do this last year, and I was working with a team of researchers across the world who were building a geospatial data platform to support communities that are being impacted by permafrost thaw, which is something I knew nothing about. I'm sure like most people aren't like, wait, permafrost thaw? But it's a really, really big problem due to climate change. Permafrost is thawing and it's basically disrupting communities, ways of life. And it's really damaging to a lot of people who live on permafrost. So it was just an incredible experience. I got to go and actually visit Alaska, which is where a lot of the work was being done, meet people who were living on land that was being impacted by permafrost thaw, and kind of just generally understand this idea of like working really closely with the people who are being impacted and the people who we really wanted to help with this technology versus like kind of just, you know, doing product management, like isolated from the actual communities. So yeah, it was a really cool experience. It was the first time I'd ever done product management too. So I was like very nervous and scared a lot of the time trying to like make sure I was doing a good job. And I cared so much about the actual like project. But yeah, I think that's probably one of the coolest things I've had the chance to do.
That is honestly one of the coolest volunteer projects I have ever heard about. I also didn't, what's the program called? Google Humanitarian?
It's google.org is the philanthropic arm of Google.
Okay, yeah. I've never heard of this and I'm curious. Personally, I've never been to Alaska. So did you have to do any training prior to going? And I asked this because I had a friend that actually was training for his job and they sent him to Alaska. And one of the things he had to additionally learn how to do was build an igloo and just to more for survival. So I didn't know if they prepped you prior to or if you were just kind of thrown in and no, not so much.
No, clearly we should have been prepped better. No, we didn't have to do anything specific. I think like a lot of what we did do for prep work was just getting some education in a lot of the communities that we were working with, because some of them, you know, these are like little towns that aren't even reachable by roads because you literally can't build a road to visit these places because they're so isolated. There's so much ice. You can't drive in the wintertime. And they're people who have lived there for so many generations, have subsistence economies, like just a totally different way of life. And so the training we did was mostly just to understand and like, understand these people, these communities that are different from, what maybe my life looks like, and learn just kind of how to think about things from their perspective as best as possible. So less that than survival training. But we did go visit Denali, which is the tallest peak in North America. And we were very far away from it, but it was very majestic.
I can only imagine. And that sounds incredible. And I'm so happy that you had that opportunity to learn more. And I've learned a bit about permafrost now, so I need to learn more, I see. I'm curious, what advice would you have for someone that is starting out in machine learning, or perhaps even a recent grad that is trying to get their foot in the door? What could they do?
I think what's really interesting right now about the AI world is we have all of these tools that are kind of becoming general purpose tools and have so many different applications. And, from like the AI perspective, there are people who are really skilled in AI who are trying to build these models and make them general purpose and make them work in different domains. And so I think if you're just getting started, figuring out like what your expertise is, or the area of application that you really care about, like is that in something related to like the medical field? Is that something related to like geospatial data, or is that related to like education? Whatever this application is, and start trying to apply the tools in a particular field. I think that's where we need like more work to be done, is to really like validate how are these models and tools actually working in real use cases. And so I think like that can kind of be your edge if you're just getting started. If you have an area you come from where you already know a lot of, you already have a lot of domain expertise, or even if you don't, figuring out what you care about, learning about it, and trying to apply AI there, like I think that's a really good way to contribute and also get yourself noticed.
I love that. I think that's excellent advice. And I'm curious, you mentioned earlier that you were from Austin, Texas. So do tell, what's your favorite restaurant? And I don't know if you maybe perhaps eat barbecue, but I would be curious if you have a great recommendation.
Yeah, my favorite restaurant in Austin. Ooh, this is difficult. I really like The Well. It is also conveniently right next to the Google office, so I'm there all the time.
I'm slightly biased.
I know, it's like right next there, so I'm always there. But it's like really good, like healthy food, and they make great matcha and great chai. So I know it's great. Definitely my favorite place. I'm not, despite being like growing up in Austin living there basically my entire life, I'm not a big barbecue person. I do love green beans, so that's kind of what's exciting for me in like that. I don't think most people are attracted to barbecue for that, but that's my favorite thing. So yeah, don't have a good recommendation for you.
No, so that's great. The Well, you had me at matcha.
Yeah, great matcha.
Sold. And the next time I go to Austin, I'm going to be checking it out. Definitely. On your recommendation. Is there anything that I could ask you, perhaps that I have not previously mentioned, that you would like to include?
I think maybe, something that I think is interesting is just kind of around like how different ways to like experiment with AI models and like how you can get started on doing that. So I actually work on a product within Google DeepMind called AI Studio, and this is our developer product to help you get into production as fast as possible with Gemini models. So it is a free to use, easy to access UI where you can go in and test different AI models. And then if you want to build something, there's an API that you can go and build with later. I think if you are interested in testing out any of the Google models, or you're new to working with AI models, it's a really, really good place to go in and just be able to test things. And the best part is like, it's free. Yay. So everyone loves that. It's free, it's easy to use. And we're constantly putting new features and new models in there. So you'll always be up to date on like what the latest is. And there's some cool vibe coding features in there as well if you need a little help building something.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah. That's a wonderful resource. I Particularly, I think it's great that Google offers free educational resources. I think it's so important from every position within the workplace. So whether you're just getting your foot in the door or a senior, a seasoned vet, it's great that Google does that.
Totally.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We really appreciate it. It's been such an honor to have you, and thanks.
Lovely to chat with you as well.